members. So welcome, guys, to Office Hours. It's our chill stream. And this is exactly what it is, chill. Like, I can stop talking if I want. I don't have to keep going and going. In fact, I'm just going to have some drink. I'm going to have a drink right now. So this is, I sort of envision this as being kind of like your time. You just come in. If you got questions, I'll answer them. If you want me to show you something, I can show you. Or if you want to just talk about anything. We could spend the whole hour talking about 80s music if you want. I'm there. I'm there for that. I'm there for wherever you guys want to take it. So I know there was one person who asked a little bit about the my step down trades. And I wanted to I did want to actually go over that tonight. I don't know if he's here or not, but if he isn't, he can always watch the replay. He can watch the replay and sort of see the whole idea. So, all right, let's get a whiteboard up. Let's get a whiteboard up, and we'll do it. We'll do it. Let's see here. One of these is my. I think this. Yeah, this here is Canva. Let's get rid of that. Let's go to a whiteboard. Get a nice fresh whiteboard. And we're gonna. You know what? I know what we can do. I know what we can do. Here, give me 1 second. I'm going to come over here and let's go to the swing list. And so here is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted to do. All right. All right, I'm going to grab it like this. All right, perfect. Command Shift 4. I'm just going to grab just a chunk, just this little chunk right here. All right, there we go. Now, let's go back. Let's go back to the whiteboard. We're going to upload files. And that's on the desktop. Here we go. Perfect. All right, we can get rid of that. All right, perfect. I guess I wanted to do a real life example. Oh, hey, Lisa, welcome to Office Hours. All right, so with the step down trades. So I have been in this Tesla trade and I am looking to do a step down on the Tesla trade. And I'll sort of explain how. Now, initially, we were in this purple channel and I've been playing that purple channel. But the reality is we've kind of broken out of that purple channel. So I've now charted this new yellow channel that we're in. And here's the thing. I am in a Tesla trade that the break even is pretty much up around here. So it's probably, let's say, $39. And I'm going to grab a pen. So let's say here I entered the trade at, and you know what? Let's just use text. Let's use text for that. There we go. All right, so if I entered, and I'm just going to call it break even, so BE, and let's just say it's at $30. All right, now this is not exact. I don't know exactly where I'm at. Obviously, we could look, but I like nice even numbers anyway. All right, so I have $30, $40, duh. It's hard when I don't have an actual thing here, but yeah, there's 38 there. So let's just say it was 40. We'll say it's 40. So if I initially entered that trade at 40 and I'm playing the purple, and we've broken out of it, and we did, we broke out, and now we're down in here. Now we're down in here and it's like, yikes. All right, now technically, I think, actually, honestly, guys, I think I got in about here. I probably, yeah, you know what? I didn't, why would I have gotten in at the top? I wouldn't have. I got in at the bottom of this. So probably, oh gosh, let me just change this. I'm going to say, let's just say $36. I think that's probably closer to where I actually entered. So if I entered it down here expecting to go up, but I didn't, we broke down and I'm kind of out of it. So I have this option. Right now we're in a descending pattern going down. And I could wait it out, but I'd have to wait quite a while. Now, we're not that far away from here, but here's the problem. We have that resistance because we're in a new channel. So the chances of me breaking out and getting up to 36, so up in here where I would be, up in here where I break even, those chances aren't very good. Those chances are not very good at all. So in here, let's actually, you know what, let's make this a little bit easier. Let me pull up, let's get some lines. All right, line, I want a line. Sure, this will work. We'll just change it to something funky. We'll make it a lime. Is that lime? Doesn't look lime. But nonetheless, you know what? Oh, this works. This works, and I'll show you why. So, okay. So we'll just do it this way here. So if I got in at this trade about here, that puts my break even at 36. Ooh, I like how that looks. Hi, Samantha. I like how this looks. So my break even is around $36. So I have to, if I would have to break out of this and go up to there to get out of this trade. So I do what I call is, I call it a break even, and I'm going to use I'll actually use a smaller line. And so what I would do in a break even is I can basically, oh yeah, you can't really see that, can you? Let me just see if I can change that color. Can I make it white? There we go. Yeah, but then you can't see it out here. Wow. All right, I know I can change it to. Let's just go with yellow. There we go. Yeah, and you can see it right here. I know that that line is yellow, but, all right. You know what? Yeah, just a second. We'll go, let's see. Oh, come on. Seriously, change to orange. There we go. All right, we'll go orange. Yeah, that works. So what I can do is I can sell it here. So we'll just say here, let's just say I sold it here-ish. So somewhere's here. We'll say to make it even, I'm going to say I sold it at 35. All right. And we'll bring this down, and I'm going to change this here to, the first part of a step down is you sell. So let's say I sell it at 35. All right. Perfect. Now, my goal, because, whoops, let's leave that there. Don't grab that. My goal, obviously, because I have this channel here, I'm going to look here, and you know what? I can buy it back in down here. So if I do that, I can, and we'll grab another line, I could buy it back in probably about here. Let's just say it's, yeah, we'll say it's about here. We'll buy it back in about here, and let's say that, and we'll put that as a buy. We'll say that is 34. We'll just say 34. And I'm doing these numbers on purpose, guys, because I want them to be easy to see. So basically, what I've done is I've taken this at 35. I've sat out a whole dollar of the fall, and I've bought back in at 34. So what this now has done, these two moves, they have changed my break even. My break even's no longer 36. Because making this move, basically avoiding a dollar of the drop, as this drops a dollar, so does this. And all of a sudden, my break even, now let me just grab a pen. Oh, and let's go with red. All of a sudden, this is no longer my break even. My break even will move down, and it'll be right here at 35. Because of that $1. So that's what I call it. Like, I call this a step down. I call this a step down maneuver. In reality, what I'm doing is I'm taking a loss right here. I'm taking a $1 loss, then I'm jumping in here a dollar cheaper, and once it rises back up to here, I've got that $1 gain. They cancel each other out, and that's why that break even is down there. And that's why I call it break even, because you technically are taking a loss, and then you're stacking that with a gain, and that effectively moves that break even down. So that's what the step, when I say I'm doing a step down, that's exactly what I'm doing. That's how it works. And it's just simple math. It's very, very, very simple math. But there we go, a step down trade. And I did that right at the top because if the individual, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but is it, no, it's not Gord. Or is it Gord? All right, I'm going to check. I don't like not remembering a name. I thought, for some reason, I'm thinking it's Gord, but, you know, we'll find out. We'll find out here. All right, it is, oh, why am I not seeing? Oh gosh, what? I don't even know which one he put it on now. Probably not today's. All right, let's try. I'll try yesterday's. Let's just give me a second here. I'm going to go to yesterday's comments. Oh, it's Gordon. I was saying Gord. It's Gordon, of course. So yeah, if Gordon, if you're watching this on the replay, I put it right at the front just so we can get your question done and out of the way. But that's how it works. And that is how you can get out of a trade. If you get stuck in a trade that's falling, this is one way that you can sort of get out of that trade sooner. Now, I will say one caveat though with this. If you're in a stock that doesn't have good fundamentals and you don't have a lot of faith in the stock, you might be better off to take a loss opposed to try to step trade, because it's kind of that falling knife syndrome. But for most stocks that have good fundamentals, and most of the stocks, well, all of the stocks that I do trading on, this is a very easy maneuver, and sometimes it'll get you out. So sometimes this may be the difference, because if you look at it, if I moved from 36 to 35, its next lift up, it could absolutely hit 35. So it might very well, get me up. Now, when you're doing this, one of the things I will tend to do is because I now have a new channel, I know roughly where I'm going to get back in. So that makes it a little bit easier. If you don't have a channel, you might want to do smaller ones. Sometimes it's a matter of doing you might just do one where you lower your adjusted cost base by 50 cents. And that's perfectly fine. Or let's call it your break even, because you're when you do this. So when I do this in my broker, it's going to say my adjusted cost base is $34, but that's not my break even anymore. That number is just where I got back in. So you always want to keep in mind, you always want to keep track and know where you were, because if you don't know where you were, how do you know when you're out of the woods? So in this case here, I would know that I was at 36, and after I've made this move, I would then know that, yeah, I got out of $1 of the downside, and that brings this down $1. So I would know exactly where I'm at. Awesome. I think I said hi to you, Mario. I hope. If I didn't, hi, Mario, once again. All right, Kelly says, this is a little reassuring, actually. I was mad at having to sell while the markets are down. Buying back in might be okay as long as they stay the same or go down. Yeah, and then sometimes there will be cases where if your TA lets you down, and sometimes it will, there are times where if you miss it and it's already turned around, but it's already on its way up big time, there's nothing wrong with jumping back in. At that point, you just write up, there's my loss, fine, I'm back in. I call it a new trade at that point if I missed it. Like for example, let's say I'm almost getting ready to buy, and all of a sudden there's some good news on Tesla, and they turn around and they start going like crazy, and it's like, yeah, you know what? This is a ride. They're not going to stop. They're going to break out. I'll jump back in. Absolutely, no problem there. I mean, you could call it a step up in a way. If you wanted to, you could still keep it all in one trade. In that case there, if you ended up jumping in, like let's say, for example, you ended up jumping in $1 higher from where you sold it, that's cool. That's cool. Like what ends up happening, like in this case here, like with this $1, a lot of times what will happen is it'll start to go down, and I'm waiting to buy here at 34, and all of a sudden it turns around, and there's some momentum. I might then jump in here, and all of a sudden, instead of $1, I end up with 50 cents. So then this here only goes to, only goes to about there instead. So I will, I don't mind. I mean, it happens. I tend to be fairly dynamic. And I got a good sense when I see something turn around, if it looks, sometimes you can really tell that it's picking up momentum, and it's like, yeah, this is kind of something that I want to do. All right, now I think I'm going to remove that because it kind of looks like something. Let's just go boom, 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 boom. There we go. All right, awesome. Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to quickly go over that, of course. Oh gosh, that's so good. I'm not drinking coffee tonight. Tonight I'm drinking bubbly. Oops, bubbly. Lime bubbly. All right, I do like it quite a bit. Awesome. All right, guys, if you got any questions, throw them up, or if there's anything you want to talk about in particular, throw it in. we'll do whatever. I'm pretty chill. Before you guys came in, I was just taking a look to see how long the freezing rain was going to happen here tonight. So here is, it's starting here. Well, there's a tiny bit of precipitation at night, a little bit of freezing rain at 1 in the morning, but 4 in the morning. It starts at 4 in the morning and freezing, all the way up here to 5 p.m. So that's going to be a lot of, it's going to be a lot of ice. It's going to be a lot of ice for sure. All right. Rory, back. Watch Dan Kent on the Go Easy Destruction. I know he'd do one right away. Oh, did he? Awesome. Yeah, Rory, was he brutal? Was he brutal on Go Easy? Yeah, that was quite the drop. That was quite the drop for sure. I'm still kind of enjoying it. Not I'm trying not to enjoy it, but yeah, he kind of was. Hilarious. That is so funny. Oh, hey, all right, we'll do it. Oh, yeah, today's workout, guys, it was brutal. It was brutal. I can feel it everywhere. Now, part of it too is I added Romanian deadlift to it. And that was exercising a few muscles that I think weren't getting as much exercise as they needed. So it was like, great. But nonetheless, it doesn't hurt. As you get older, strength training is really important because, once you start heading into those retirement years, the last thing you want, because, that's kind of the big issue, right? As you get older, a lot of the injuries that old folk are prone to, like things like breaking hips. If you do strength training, you're gonna have better balance, and you're probably you probably are not going to you're probably not gonna have things like weakened bones, things like that. All right. GMAX says, do you lift weights? You are joking. No, not joking at all. Not joking at all. I lift 3 times a week. So I've actually got it built around so that I'm doing it on my days when I'm not filming because, it takes like basically my weight training takes roughly an hour. So hour to maybe an hour and 10 minutes, just depending on how much room I have in there. Let's say hello. I am new here. Hey, welcome to the channel membership. Welcome to the stream. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Oh wait, I think I forgot. Did I not put this on? Oh gosh. I think it's open to everybody. I think it's open to everybody. Oh boy. I think I forgot to turn this one on to channel members only, because this is a channel member one, guys. Oh my gosh. All right. Oh boy, banana bread. Well, I'm gonna leave it as is for now, just because, there's no point. I don't want to, like, people are already in the door. I don't want to shut the door on people once they're already in. Oh boy. All right, let's see here. I have a hate. I have a love-hate relationship with Romanian deadlifts. Yeah. Yeah, they're kind of tough. They're kind of tough, but once I get used to them, I'll be fine. Can you check out Google? Sure. Yeah, let's take a look at Google. Let's see what's going on. All right, actually, let's go to our regular list, and I think I need to add them. All right, Google. Here we go. Oops. Hello, Google. It is, oops. It also helps if I share while I'm, right now, it doesn't seem to want to. What's going on here? All right, give me a second, guys. I'm just going to refresh this. Leave page. There we go. It's not behaving. It's not behaving. All right, now let's pull this out. All right, let's go back to, oh, it did. Oh, yeah, there it is. Google. Let's go back to Google. Boom. Ooh, yeah, look at this. They've had. There's some of my, you can see some of the channels I was charting on Google. But all right, I'm going to just make this a little bigger. Here we go. Let's take a look here. Yeah, look at this. Google's had a lot of movement since, well, this whole week. This whole week, Google's been on a tear. That's pretty cool. That is definitely pretty cool. I'm liking it. Samantha, I did a workout on Saturday and I'm still sore. Yeah, I hear ya. I hear ya. Lance, I almost forgot about office hours. 1.75, and here we go. Why videos? Yeah, sorry, I'm a freeloader. Yep. I got a leap. 305 to 310 expiring in 14 days. I almost sold today. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, no, this is kind of interesting. Now, actually here, I'll show you what I think is going on here, guys. I can see right here, like, take a look. We've got, we had a channel here. We had a channel. So we did have a channel happening here with Google, and they've just broken out. And here's the interesting thing. When you look at when you take the TA, normally the breakout's about the size of the channel. And if we put this here, pretty exact. So yeah, this looks like it's finished the breakout. Now it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go back down. It could. It basically means that this channel is probably no longer valid now. So now we have to wait to see where it goes. Is it going to go sideways for a bit? It might. But yeah, that's a classic breakout. Nice. I should have been charting that one. I didn't chart that one ahead of time. Otherwise, this would have been nice to have taken advantage of. Yeah, and this here, maybe just bring it in a little bit more. I like to make sure my channels are parallel. So yeah, not too shabby, not too shabby. I'm liking it. And that's the thing. I mean, and this is why, like, I talk a lot about TA. When I talk about TA, as you guys know, I love the channels because the channels, they're just really, really, really good. They tend to be a lot more, for me, I find them to be a lot more reliable. I don't like, there's, some people are into, oh, look, it's doing a head and shoulders, or it's, a cup and handle, death cross, golden cross. I'm not so much on those ones. I like my channels, my basic resistances, because to me, they make a lot more sense. All right, Kelly, let's see. I did finish a 300-kilometer walking challenge on my treadmill, motivated by a shiny medal on the Conqueror Challenges site. It took me since January, but hey, I got off the couch. Nice, Kelly. That's awesome. Yeah, I used to train a long time ago. Back, I used to do a lot of cycling. So my longest one-day cycle is 110 kilometers, and that took about 8 hours. I didn't say I was great. I wasn't the fastest, but I had a lot of endurance for sure. Oh, and of course now it's kind of that thing like when you move away from it, you get yourself completely out of shape. I kind of wish I had never stopped training. Just, yeah, keep training your whole life. That would be better off. You'd be better off for sure. Why Video says congrats, Kelly. There we go. Absolutely. Yeah. You know what? And that's the thing. I I look at it this way. You know, to me, it's not even about making an accomplishment anymore. Um, if you make the effort, that's kind of a good thing. So, it's awesome, of course, to hit that 300 kilometers. Now you're going to have to push yourself to 500, but, you know, it's still, the fact that you're trying is pretty good. And it's actually really interesting. I was watching a video the other day. Oh, excuse me. I think it was Hank Green. And he was talking just about, like, if you, like, for your New Year's resolution, let's say you train for, you manage to train for a month before you fall off the wheel. The reality is that the positive benefits you've gotten from training, well, those actually stay with you. Even a year later, if you pick it up again on New Year's, you're still slightly, even though it's not, you can't really tell, but you are still a little bit further ahead than you were when you picked it up the year before. So it's kind of cool. Why Video? Here is my entrance ticket. Oh gosh. Well, thank you very much, Why Video. And yeah, you know what? I'll give you a goat. Why not? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. These are office hours. Office hours are for chilling. But yeah, thank you very much. And technically, you're rewarding me for forgetting to click a button to say to say channel members. I'm just not so used to clicking that button. So, what can I say? All right. All right. Thoughts on Collier's big drop today? I did not see that. Let's take a look at it first of all. All right, Collier's International. Here we are. Let's take a gander. Oh, look at that. Yeah, 5.21%. All right. Yeah, let's see here. I don't see an earnings, so, and I think most of the tech earnings are over anyway, so. Although, are they technically tech? Let's see here. Let's take a look at the news. Let's see. All right. So yeah, not really a lot happened today in the news. So good question. I don't know why they dropped, but yeah. Do I have any thoughts on it? No, other than I'm not sure why they dropped. I would have to, I think we'd have to probably dig a little bit deeper because we're not seeing any obvious news. We don't have earnings. Yeah. There's no good reason for it at all. But let's see here. I got through many of those kilometers watching Mountain Finance. Ooh, there we go. Now, anytime now, anytime in the day now, if my leg just feels tired for some reason, I'll be like, yeah, I'm with Kelly. I'm with Kelly on the treadmill. There we go. Yeah. And it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. But yeah, when I was doing the cycling, so the way that used to work, at least in the summer training session, I basically would do roughly 10 to 30 kilometers Monday to Friday, and then on Saturday I would do 100 to 110. And I rested on Sunday. Yes, Sunday I would be pretty much toast. And I also did a little bit of weights in there too, but not a lot. Nothing too heavy. Just because the sheer amount of time spent on my bike was far. But to give you an idea of the distance, and let's do it. I'm going to show you. Let's see here. Let's go to Google Maps. All right. All right. Well, this is Ottawa, but we don't need Ottawa. This was all in Halifax. All right, now I need to come down a little bit here. All right, perfect. All right, so, and where is Holy Banana Bread? All right. Hey, here we are. So I left, so one of my trips, this was probably the longest one I ever did. I left downtown Halifax, so basically down in here, and I bicycled from here all the way up to here, Truro. So from Halifax to Truro, basically pretty much across the province, really. That one was, that was about 110-ish. That was actually the first of the very long ones that I took. And that was, that was one that I had friends there, so I was going to get a ride back because there's no way I would have been able to bike back the next day. So that was a one-way. But normally what I would do is I would leave here most days. I would head out this way. I would, if that thing would stop popping up, I would come in here and then I would loop around here. That would be one of my main routes, just that loop there through Peggy's Cove, Herring Cove, all of that. So very cool. All right, Lance says, I've been strength training since high school. I will do it for as long as I can. Yeah, actually, it's funny. I've been watching, when I started to get back into it, I started watching some YouTube videos, and there's a lot of senior citizens doing it. And I was watching this one woman. She was like 70 something. She didn't look 70 something, but and she was pumping some pretty heavy weights. And I was like, okay, yeah, this is not a bad idea. That's awesome. I'm in Greenwood. I think that's Nova Scotia. I think. I feel like I should know where Greenwood is, because when you say Greenwood, it's like, wait a minute. Yes. It's got to be. Yeah, it's got to be here somewhere. All right, Greenwood. I did not know, Kelly. If you're from Nova Scotia, that's awesome. I did not know you were a Nova Scotian. So, very cool. Let's see. Wow, that's amazing. What was the terrain like? Many hills. Yeah, well, here's the thing. So first of all, the challenge of going from Halifax to Truro, there's a big highway. So the 102 or the Bicentennial, not allowed to bike on it. So you're not allowed to bike on the main road. So you have to take all of the old roads and all of the side roads. So I was having roads that was coming all over. So it wasn't even a straight line. So it was, but yeah, there were some hills. It wasn't super bad. It wasn't like, I don't remember the hills being that bad. There were a few. But I also was in really good shape, so hills didn't matter to me. It's like, that's a hill. I don't care. Yeah. Let's see. Lance says fasting. Fasting is good for you too. I did a 40-hour fast after tonight. I'm going for 48 hours too. Okay, there you go. I have done fasting before. Actually, I was doing a lot of fasting before the pandemic. Because, I was getting in shape and I was, it was working really well. I was losing quite a bit of weight. I did some really long fasts though, Lance. I almost don't want to mention the longest fast I did, But what stopped me was the pandemic, because there was, with this new virus, there was no real idea on if long-term fasting and how, because it basically it tears down your immune system when you fast. That's probably not a good thing when there's a new virus around. So I did stop at the pandemic, and I don't know if I could do it again, because it's, like, at least the long ones, like, because for me, a week was a short fast. So yeah. Let's see. Samantha says, I lived in Greenwood in junior high. All right, let's see. That's cool, Samantha. Base brat. Greenwood base. Oh boy. Now, yeah, over here. There we go. As soon as you said base, it was like, oh yeah, it's got to be over here. I actually think I've been to Greenwood now that you mention it. So when I was in Sea Cadets, the first year you can go to camp, you do this 2-week training. Basically it's called, I think, GMT, General Military Training. And it's just a 2-week camp. And it was somewheres up in this area around Annapolis Royal. So was it at Greenwood? I wonder if it might have been at Greenwood. You know what? Just give me a second here. I feel like that's why I'm thinking, why does Greenwood sound so familiar? Let's put here, cadets, GMT, Greenwood. I'm throwing them together. Oh, yeah, look, there is a training center there. All right. No, I don't think I was at Cornwallis. I don't think I was at because I remember Cornwallis. I feel like it feels like it might have been Greenwood, but yeah. Oh boy. Because yeah, the second you said it, I'm just like, that's so familiar. Air Cadets use Greenwood. Well, maybe, I don't know. Now I don't know. Now, gosh, it's so long ago. Oh boy. All right, Lance says, I'm going to try and do the Hamilton to Brantford Rail Trail this summer. I want to hike a large portion of the Bruce Trail too. Okay, that sounds kind of fun. Let's see. Samantha said, I thought about joining the cadets, but I wasn't good at fitness. Yeah, well, I'm trying to think why I joined. I think part of it is I heard from somebody that you can go to summer camp and they'll pay you to go to summer camp. And I was like, okay, sign me up. So yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I thoroughly enjoyed cadets. Met a lot of people, met a lot of friends, learned a lot of discipline. All right, let's see. I get a lot of outdoor exercise in the summer too. I'm hoping for 2 big canoe trips this summer. I do like canoeing. It's been a while since I've been in a canoe, but I do like it. Let's see. Did you say you did a 1-week fast? Oh, I said a 1-week fast is short. I did. Oh God, I don't want to tell you. I'm not going to tell you how long. But I'll tell you it was more than a week. All right, Chad, freeloader here. Hey, nothing wrong. Like I said, it was me. I forgot to put it on the channel, on the channel members. So, it happens. It happens. Let's see. Yes, I think I remember $60 a week in the summer, but I could be wrong. Good to fast, but I don't know about a week. It's actually interesting. Here's the thing about fasting. So for one, if you are on a keto, at the time I was using keto, I don't do that anymore, but at the time I was on keto, and because my body was already adapted to burning fat, eating fat, I didn't have like the hunger pains that normal, like if you have a carb eater and they go into fasting, they've got there's going to be a little bit of a struggle the first couple of days. So I didn't have that. My body was already completely fat adapted. So burning ketones, ketones, all of that fun stuff. So I didn't really find it very, I don't know. I felt pretty good during the whole thing. Um, even though I went as long as I did, I was just, it was fine. It was fine. I was working. I was doing everything I normally do. Now, one thing I will mention about fasting, if any of you ever decide you want to get into long-term fasting, when you break that fast, let me tell you 2 words. These will be your friend. Chia seeds. Trust me. You'll want to break them with chia seeds because that will prevent you from, well, your body from doing something embarrassing. I'll leave it at that. Kelly says, I misbehaved and learned to smoke. Oh, well, I hope you don't do that anymore. That's really bad for you, that's for sure. I'm lucky I've never been there. I've never done that. All right. Oh, and Ellie, or Anilo, I think. Anilo has joined the channel membership. Welcome. And guys, that is a goat. It's a goat. If we started the goats, we'll keep the goats going. Why not? That is our Bay Street goat. I love it. Lance, I get moody after 30 hours. I done it on my days off, so I can't go more than 3 days. Oh, yeah, no, I did it like through work, everything. I mean, it didn't matter. I was even, I was doing everything I normally do. There was no real difference other than I felt pretty good when I was doing it. Let's see, I'll do 16-8 fasts. Okay, so that's more like intermittent fasting. Lance says, I put chia seeds and flax seeds in my overnight oats, and I have those 5 days per week. Okay. And not too impressed with Wealthsimple's new update. Which update is that, Chad? I don't know. I haven't paid a lot of attention the last couple of days, that's for sure. Lance says, I need a certain amount of protein to maintain muscle mass, and I get about 50 to 60 grams of protein per overnight oats. Okay. All right, that sounds good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously, especially if you're training a lot, you definitely need that extra protein. Like right now, I do have a protein shake at breakfast every day. So I do try to get that extra protein for sure. All right. Holy banana bread, guys. Lance says, I can't fast too long. Just suffered a brain injury when I was 10. I need food like Gary Gill needs MSTE. Okay, well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if you want to share what happened, but what happened to you? What did you do? I guess I'm picturing a bike. I'm picturing falling off a bike or something like that. But let's see. Kelly says, Chad, I agree. The display is all messed up for highs, lows, and price. Oh, okay. I was in there briefly this morning, but I didn't notice anything. But yikes. Hopefully, hopefully they fix that sooner than later. Because yeah, I went in there this morning. I bought a share of HDiv, and then I threw the rest of it on XMA, whatever was left. So yeah, normally right now with my Wealthsimple, I'm just using it like whenever somebody uses my affiliate code, I just take that 25 and I buy something in the thing. That's where I end up with that's where my MSTE and now with MST I was pretty much right. I've got about 10.4 shares now because of the dividends coming in. I turned on the reinvestment, the drip. My brother punched me in the back of the head when I was 10. No bike involved. Yikes. How hard did he punch you? It must have been pretty hard. Oh, boy. Kelly and no divvy or yield mentions either. Maybe it's just the phone app. I don't know. I use the Wealthsimple. I mean, I typically use it on the iPad. You had seizures for 7 years. Oh, my gosh. All right. Well, at least that sounds to me like you at least are no longer having seizures, but holy cow. I have a feeling that brother, you don't send him a Christmas card anymore. Yeah, that's pretty, yeah. Well, at least it's, yeah, it does sound like you've at least got things back on the back, at least back, you're back in the saddle. Let's see, Chad. Gonna buy some more Air Canada tomorrow. I'll let you all know afterwards as it will drop some more. Okay, after you buy it, right? Let's see, he's 14 years older and had 100 pounds on me. Now they know their place. Okay, all right. That's sounds, it sounds like there's a revenge story in there, Lance. Maybe a little bit of one, but yeah. Oh gosh. Yikes. Yeah, that's never good. Let's see. Everything is good. I need food, sleep, and green markets. Green markets are good. Green markets are definitely good. But what can I say? Oh, there we go. I just had to put my watch onto the charger. Sometimes, so I set the charger when I'm doing my workout in the morning, and sometimes I forget to turn it off, and it keeps on not charging. Not sorry, my gosh, the actual timer. So there's a timer on it for workouts. So sometimes I'll turn that on, and it will keep on going. Now, every other type of exercise, whether it be, I don't know, walking, jogging, dancing, if your heart rate comes down, it'll send you a little warning. Oh, have you stopped exercising? Can I turn off the chart? Can I turn off the count? But this one basically says, nope. This one just keeps on going. Doesn't matter what happens. But it's also for the core. I'm using the core training for my workout. All right. Amanda says, I was gifted a membership, so thank you, whoever it was. Who gifted that one? It might have been Lance. I think, yeah. Lance, do you remember if it was Amanda who got yours? If it wasn't Lance, then it was probably Mark. But I think Lance might have gifted it to you, Amanda. Let's see, Kelly. I'm picking up more Air Canada and more IVN. Machoist, a misogynist, I guess. Well, I still have a lot of faith in IVN, so you know there is that. Patricia's in the house. Hi, I just got the notification. And Pat Cool, thanks for my gifted membership. Also, there we go. And speaking of gifted memberships, Lance just gifted another one. I have no clue who it went to. I don't have my test box up, and this doesn't show me. So whoever got it, and you guys probably know, congratulations. But, you know, I broke out the goats. We'll continue. And besides, I like Space Goat. We got to have Space Goat. There we go. Lance, I don't know who that was, but this one is from me. All right, there we go. Let's see. The watch is almost as annoying as the Netflix. Are you still watching? Yes, I am still on the couch. I know. I know. All right. GLI 4119. Ooh, Nate. Nate Palmatier in the house. Let's go space. Hey, Nate, how are you doing? I haven't seen you in forever. Now, Nate, guys, you guys may not, those of you who are old school will remember Nate. But Nate has a nice little channel as well. Nate, he's also got 10 kids. So 10 kids and a YouTube channel. That's more than you could ask for. Chad says, Kelly, wait till I buy it. First, we'll drop another 5% right after I buy it. Never fails. And Nate says, doing great. Life has been so crazy busy. Oh, I imagine. But, you know, hey, still, it's still good to see you. You know, every so often you leave a comment, but it's always good to see you, Nate. Now, any chance you're going to come back to your channel, start being a little more regular? I know with the time, though, you may not have that time, but, you know, one of the things I will definitely say, guys, Nate has crazy editing skills. Like crazy editing skills. I do some neat things with my editing, but Nate can edit circles around me any day of the week. Always here to support you, Candace. You are awesome. Oh, thanks, Nate. Always appreciate that. And this is kind of a different type of stream, Nate. This is what we call office hours. So basically, there's no agenda. We can talk about this, that, anything. It's 100% chill. It's just sort of an extra thing. Normally, it's for the channel members, but I accidentally forgot to set it to channel members, so everybody gets to go in. Lance says, I'm excited. I'll be watching the streams from Dominican in 2 weeks. Rum and market close on the beach will be a treat. What is Nate's channel topic? Also finance. Actually, funny story, Kelly. Me and Nate, we did a crossover. Oh gosh, that was like, I don't know, 4 years ago. We basically both made the exact same video, and we each appeared in each other's video. But it was the same script, everything. And there was a couple little areas where I think we personalized it to ourselves, but it was just kind of a dinky little thing that we did. It was fun. It was just, it was just like, hey, why not? Wahipple is in the house. Well, hey, everyone. Hey, Wahipple, how you doing? Nate saying, yeah, that was awesome. I enjoyed that quite a bit, actually. I know, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. Kelly says, hey, Wahipple. And Wahipple is saying, I am good. Whoops, there we go. The clicker was over-clicking a little bit, but that's fine. It happens, right? It happens. Oh, yeah, Nate, we should get you... You're just fun to talk to, Nate, so we should get you on the channel one of these days, because Nate's a really good guy, guys. If you haven't, I don't know if he's got any new stuff out there, but actually, well, you had a few videos, I think, Nate, that you were dropping like in 2025. I think there was a few that you dropped, so you got in a little bit. And there you go. See? Proof that you're busy. Off to pick up your daughter. I'd love to come on and chat. Yeah, we'll make it happen, Nate. We'll do that. Anyway, say hi to your daughter for me. Enjoy the rest of your day. So Nate Palmatier, guys. Yeah, he was basically part of the OG. There used to be like an OG core of us at one point, and definitely Nate was in there. Are you bullish on Shopify? That's a good question. Am I bullish? I think. So here's the thing, I've been thinking a little bit about Shopify AI, and just some of the effect that we've seen on some of the software companies. So one of the big issues with AI is that AI, you can pretty much get AI to do things for you with with just a few prompts. If you ask ChatGPT or Anthropic or Claude or whoever to design something for you that's similar to software that another company sells, you can get it done. You can get it done. Now, I don't know if a lot of people are doing that, but there is the possibility. The fact that there's a possibility, that's one of the reasons that there's been so much fear around AI in regards to software companies. Now, when you start to look at a point of sale, like basically like the shops that Shopify offers, you can't just recreate that with a couple quick prompts to ChatGPT. I think it's a little harder. And if Shopify integrates AI even more into that whole process, I think there's a lot of safety in that. So for that reason, I think, will Shopify have a rough time of it? They might have a little bit, but I think overall they're going to be fine on the other side. Not to say that if AI keeps getting smarter that it doesn't get to a point, but it's not at that point yet. I think Shopify for now I think it's safe. Wahipple. So yeah, I was looking at 9 points, new high shares. I hope they don't add them into ECHI. I would sell my ECHI and I like it as you like it the way it is. I think ECHI is working perfectly fine the way it is. So I don't know how. That's the thing. I don't know how how these new 9 point, if they're going into ECHI or if they're I would look at it this way. You know what? Like I would keep the number in ECHI where it's at right now. And if one of them, perhaps if one of them starts to underperform, one of the ones that they're holding, then maybe you could swap in one of the other ones. So, maybe have them like in reserve maybe, but I don't know. At the same time, and here's the other argument though, Wahipple. You could say, well, if we bring the more in, it only makes ECHI even more diversified. So there is that argument too, and I don't know which way that they're going, but it'll be interesting to see how it works out for sure. I have a feeling that if they do bring them in, they won't bring them in right away. Like I don't think it's a situation like they'll launch and they immediately go into ECHI. Maybe they'll give them a chance to sort of prove their worth before they start looking at any changes, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see for sure. All right, Lance. When you started investing, what was your biggest challenge? Mine was patience and not jumping in and out. Thankfully, got that under control now. I don't know if there was. I think the biggest challenge was not. Is the fact that I was learning things fast. So I think that was my biggest challenge. And let me explain. So, when I decided that I was going to do, that I was going to be more involved in finance, and this was even before we got to, making a YouTube channel, of course, I wanted to learn everything I could about it. And I wanted to learn it fast. So sometimes when you learn things fast, you forget to learn the one thing that I think is the most important, and that is understanding that there are things that you don't know. And I don't want to say I got into a position where I was a know-it-all or anything like that, by no means at all. But sometimes it's like when you are learning fast, you don't know what you don't know because you move by it so fast, you don't realize you don't know something, or you don't know. So, there is that. Now, of course, I mean, I've come a long way, and I've learned, and I've backtracked and learned a lot of things, that little things. I'll give you an example. I'm just trying to think of something I did. I passed. Well, here, I'll go right back to very basics. Very, very basics. When I first opened up my first trading account, I was building it outside of my TFSA because I didn't fully grasp exactly, the relationship. Like I didn't completely grasp a TFSA because initially when I started learning, I wasn't learning about the investment accounts. I was learning about the stocks. I was learning about the companies. I was devouring the companies. I was devouring what were good stocks. I was devouring basic fundamentals. So I wasn't really looking. I wasn't looking at the storage boxes where these things go. I was so wrapped up in the math of everything else. So quite literally, when I started my first account, I built it in my cash account. And then very quickly, like quite literally, I think my account was maybe a month old when I finally clued in and said, oh, I should probably look at the relationship between the RRSP and TFSA and all of this, and then figure out exactly what they do. And once I figured out what they did, I was like, okay, this is me not looking before I leap. So I ended up having to sell everything in my cash account and move it to the TFSA. So that was long, long ago, but that was the very first mistake I made. It was just a simple, and that's the thing. Like I will make mistakes, guys, but my goal is to not make the same mistakes over and over again. I want to find brand spanking new mistakes to make. And it'll happen. It'll happen. And that's the thing. So, sometimes, like if I make a mistake on a video, sometimes somebody will call me out in the comments. And, sometimes a person might, some people will not call you out. They'll be like, sorry, whatever. I prefer to get called out. Like if I made an error, I want to know about it, because then if I don't know about it, then how can I learn from making a mistake? Most times I make a mistake. It's quite literally careless error that somehow managed to squeak by. Because obviously, if there's a careless error, it usually means that one, I probably typed in a wrong number when I was typing up the script, and I didn't notice it when I filmed it, and I didn't notice it when I edited it. So, and then my last line of defense is the channel members, because they have 24-hour access. Every so often, a channel member will come in and tell me of a mistake. Now, the problem is, if it's most times there's not a lot I can do even at that point, other than put a note at the beginning, because YouTube doesn't really let you, well, with the channel members, if it's a major mistake, I can just pull the video down and I can reload it because it doesn't affect everybody else. It just means that if you're a channel member and you watch it, all of a sudden it's in your feed again. You're like, what? I already watched this. So, it doesn't have, I think I've only had to do it once, and there was just a major typo. But most times, if there's a little tiny error, I'll just put a note. I'll put a pinned note at the beginning of the video, just to say, note, here's a correction, this piece of data, little things like that. But yeah, all right. Holy banana bread. Let's see. Shopify is a new buy in my account. Hey, Kelly, thanks. Let's see. Amazon and Shopify, big competitors. My new TV had a pop-up during a commercial, and if I wanted the item, I just had to click my remote. Scary if you are a shopper. Yeah, that does that now. And Amazon and Shopify, I believe they actually have a deal now. I think they have. They're kind of they've kind of got a working relationship, so they're not as big of competitors as people think anymore. Lance, let's see. I've learned a lot in the last 6 months. Spent 16 hours per day on YouTube learning and overwhelming myself early on to the point where my heart would start racing fast randomly. Well, you don't want to get yourself overwhelmed. I always look at it this way. You know what? When you're learning something new, you can always tell when you start to get diminishing returns on what you're learning. And as soon as you get like that, you know what? Just stop the learning, go do something fun. Even if you just go do something fun for a couple of hours and then you come back, you'll find that you're gonna do a lot better. Also, that will help you a lot better with retention as well. Now, let's see. Wahipple, I got the Google on my TV and can add stuff to my Amazon cart from the. Yeah, exactly. I've never done it yet, but every time. Let's see. Shop app on my phone is run by Shopify, so both are tracking shopping habits, handling payments and shipping, and directly personalized advertising at me. And if you think personalized advertising is personalized, wait till AI gets its hands on it. And AI's already got its hands on it, but just wait till it gets, it's going to get really interesting. So, imagine if a commercial comes on the air and the actors can actually speak to you and say, hey, Kelly, have you thought about spick and span for your floor? That could happen, because they can just sort of adjust it with AI, and it'll get to that point. Eventually, it might even get to a point where, you could talk to multiple people in the same room, because, but that's really far, I think. Well, depending, it's hard to say what really far is anymore. Let's see, Lance, I've also learned to take what ChatGPT says with a grain of salt. You kind of have to. Because ChatGPT can be wrong. I always say, this is what I normally do. Whenever I ask ChatGPT for some information, I also ask for the sources. I'll read the information, but then I go to the sources, because that's kind of that thing. Let's see. The Fly Shop I buy my supplies from uses Shop. It's pretty good, but I find it too spammy. Okay, fair enough. And Kelly says advances in technology are wild and a little frightening. I was looking at Meta glasses and then found out that some of your viewing space can be hacked. I'm pulling back from my pro tech self some. Uh-oh. But you got to realize, anything can be hacked. But, it boils down to, what are the odds? What are the odds of that happening? Although I got to say, in my role at YouTube, I get so many people reaching out to me with, you know, most of them are fake sponsorship deals that are hoping to hack my channel. But, you know, I pretty much, if somebody reaches out to me for a sponsorship and they want me to reach out to them on WhatsApp, it's just not happening. Let's see. Jason Momoa can sell me all the floor cleaner. There you go. You know what? There's a funny thing. But eventually, if AI knows you have a thing for Jason Momoa, why wouldn't they serve up the spick and span commercial with Jason Momoa? Why wouldn't they do that? Of course they would. Samantha says, I was watching a technology show and a company was working on an Alexa type device, but with a camera. No, thank you, big brother. Well, the reality is, though, you know, I'm surprised Alexa doesn't. I shouldn't say it out loud but I'm surprised the A word doesn't already have one. You know, it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time, and it's the thing. And once you start getting robots, I mean, they have to be able to see where they're going. I mean, the world is changing really, really fast, guys. Really fast for sure. All right, guys, holy banana bread. This hour goes by so fast. That's an hour, 6 minutes. I don't care. But, you know, it was good. It was good. I know, don't say her name. Yep, yep. Well, actually, lately, a couple of times recently, I said her name to call for her, and she replied with, "Yep, that's my name. I don't like to be called Hey Robot." I'm like, what? But, you know, she's been getting kind of snarky lately, so. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. We've now got the A Word Pro. The A Word Pro. It's fun. It's fun. All right, guys. I'll be back here again tomorrow. We're gonna do this again, unless if I don't show up tomorrow, it's because the ice storm took out the power. But so far we've actually done really good. Like the only thing that's ever taken out our power that I can recall is the DeRoche we got a couple of summers ago. But that tore up power lines and trees, and oh, that was incredibly insane. But yeah, I think everything will be fine. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll have some fun. All right, enjoy your night. And once again, for the channel members who are here, thank you for being channel members. You guys absolutely rock. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.